Okay, I'm going to be straight up honest. This is a first for me because I don't know where to start here. We might as well just go ahead and start with something, right? So the House fails to pass its $17 billion Israel supplemental package, right? That's one thing. They fail to impeach Mayorkas. 3 Republicans voted no, which we're going to get into that later. Nikki Haley loses to, get this, none of these candidates. Well, I'm going to do, you know what? I'm going to do a whole separate video today about that. So I'll have a second video to explain that one. But essentially, Nikki Haley was on the Nevada primary and Trump wasn't on the primary, but she lost. And she's the only other one. Of course, Mike Pence was up there, but he's not in the race no more. She lost to basically a write-in that said none of these candidates. That was a write-in. None of these candidates got 60% of the vote. Nikki, embarrassing the crap. But like I said, I'm going to do a whole nother video on that. We're going to get into that, right? So much for the House passing that border security, which is, it's more Ukraine aid package than border security. It was, like I explained yesterday, I believe, it's more of a business as usual deal, you know, a border business as usual deal, because all it does is give amnesty to almost everybody that wants to come across our border. It allows a lot of people. It only gives them the option to consider it an emergency when more than 5,000 people come over per day. That's just outright insanity. The RNC chair is gone, folks. Ronna McDaniel is out. Thank you, Lord. Our prayers have been answered. This lady has needed to go for a while, but get this. Matt Gaetz, one of my favorite congressmen, probably my second favorite congressman, votes to endorse Kevin McCarthy for chair of the RNC. Now, right off the top, you know I don't care for Kevin McCarthy as a congressman, right? I could not wait for them to vote him out. When Matt Gaetz came up and said, we're ousting this guy, I jumped. I screamed. I was like, yes! Thank you! I screamed. I was literally out of my seat yelling about that. I was like, yay. But I can get behind this, right? Put it this way. Kevin McCarthy is a terrible congressman. Probably would make a terrible senator. He's corrupt. He's got all these problems. He gives in to the woke left. He's just problematic, right, as a congressman, as a representative of the people. However, Kevin McCarthy is probably the best fundraiser that we had or have in Congress. So when I saw that story, I got to thinking, my wheels got to spinning right there, and I'm like, oh, why would Matt Gaetz want to endorse Kevin McCarthy? And then I thought about it. Kevin McCarthy can raise funds. He can get you to give him his money like nobody's business. He has raised more money for the RNC than anybody else. You know, outside of people that actually work for the RNC. This dude. So I'm all behind that. I'm all behind that. Yeah, go ahead. Give this guy, because he's a useful idiot, he'll be able to raise all kind of money to help out. Now, the only problem with that is we got to make sure this dude wants to distribute these funds correctly. But he's a whole hell of a lot better than Ronna McDaniel. That's for damn sure. Okay, so we all know that, like I was saying, that border security package deal is dead on arrival when it gets to the House. They're not even going to vote for it. But guess what? They don't have to vote for it because it didn't even pass in the Senate. 48 to 50, no. Get this BS out of here. The American people do not want it. And obviously, the states don't want it either because the Senate didn't pass it. So, what is going on today, folks? What's up, everybody? How the hell's your day going? I hope y'all having a pretty good day. This is Legitical Response. You know, we cover political news. We keep you up to date on the ins and outs and what's going on inside the government because knowledge is half the battle, right? And to stand up and fight against the machine, we need to know the knowledge of what the machine is doing so we know where to strategically voice our concerns, right? So that's what I do. Keep you up to date, keep you informed. So if you are one of these people that want to stay informed, want to stay on top of what the government is doing, do me a favor right now. Smash that subscribe button for me and turn on your notifications, because YouTube doesn't always put up my video in your feed for whatever reason. You know, sometimes they do it on purpose, sometimes they don't do it on purpose. But if you want to stay up to date, hit that notification bell, because that will make sure you get my videos every single time I post a video. And if you also could, please do me a favor, smash that like button if you're voting for Trump. And smash the like button anyway, you know what I'm saying? It helps out the channel a whole hell of a lot. But let's go ahead and get into some news right quick, because, like I said, I think I'm going to make a whole nother video on that other separate issue. So let's go ahead and get into what the hell? Some BS, folks. Some BS. We got this from Newsweek. Full list of Republicans who voted against impeaching Mayorkas. That's right. Now, we knew, because Kim Buck already said before last week, there was a headline that said, Kim Buck says, I'm not voting to impeach Mayorkas. And I'm like, what? Why? Why would you not want to vote to impeach Mayorkas? And then you may have the argument of, well, the Senate isn't going to convict him anyway, so why impeach him? It's the thought that counts, right? It's the action behind it. You're indicting, essentially. This is how you get indictments on people who are sitting in governmental offices. This is how you get these people out of that office. This is how you let them know that we are on to you, and that you cannot do whatever the hell you want to do, that Congress has the power to kick you out. That is what impeachment is, right? He may not be convicted, and he may get to stay in his office, but there's going to be a whole hell of a lot of calls for resignation from Alejandro Mayorkas. He says the impeachment accusations are baseless, right? He's lying. We know he's lying. He's lied to Congress under oath several times, and we know that. I've proven that on this very show countless times. I say countless, but you know what I mean. Enough times to be able to prove it. Let's go ahead and get into it. House Republicans failed to garner enough votes to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas on Tuesday, with 4 Republicans joining their Democratic colleagues to keep him in power. It was actually only 3. One of them changed their vote, but we'll get into that. Mayorkas has been targeted by Republicans in recent months as conservatives ramp up their attacks on President Joe Biden's handling of border security, right? That kind of is a false statement, because Joe Biden hasn't handled, or Alejandro Mayorkas hasn't handled, border security whatsoever. Their security basically consists of CBP agents lifting the razor wire that Governor Greg Abbott put in place to keep people from swimming across the Rio Grande, very dangerous, high-flowing river to swim across, right? He puts up razor wire across that to dissuade people from trying to cross that river and come into the United States illegally. So what does Alejandro Mayorkas do? He lifts the fence up so that when the people do come across, they can just come up the little hill and walk right on into the United States, and then get bussed off to wherever the hell they want to go, if they don't just hang around and linger wherever they came across, right? This is absolute insanity. So there's no security whatsoever. They're not securing the border. You cannot truthfully use border security whatsoever. That's why I didn't call that stupid Senate bill a border security bill, because it wasn't. It was a border business as usual bill, because all they're doing is continuing to do what they do. However, they're giving amnesty to all these people. They're giving out work permits to anybody who wants one. They're giving asylum claims to anybody who wants one. Oh, you're not over here because of political asylum? Well, here's your political asylum anyway. That's what it does. It doesn't do anything to secure the border. But we've went over that, so I'm going to keep going here. The impeachment case accuses the secretary of refusing to comply with immigration laws, which he did. He refused. resulting in what the GOP describes as an invasion along the U.S.-Mexico border. The articles also claim that Mayorkas breached the public's trust after he knowingly made false statements regarding the border. Supporters behind the impeachment articles include House Speaker Mike Johnson, who told reporters ahead of the vote on Tuesday that he was confident his party had enough votes to go through with the charges. Republicans hold a razor-slim majority in the House, meaning the GOP could only afford to lose the vote of 2 of its members in order to pass the articles. All 212 Democrats voted against the impeachment articles. The charges failed to pass on a 214-216 vote. What? Moore switched his vote to a no at the last second to avoid a 215-215 tie on the measure, which would have prevented the bill from being brought up again at another time. He then immediately moved to reconsider the bill at a later date, which was adopted by Johnson. Democrats argued before Tuesday that the articles against Mayorkas included charges that did not constitute impeachment, which they do. He is breaking U.S. law. He has broken U.S. law several times. He's lied to Congress. That's another law that is broken. He has breached the trust of the oversight. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries also accused Republicans of putting up a sham vote, claiming the charges against Mayorkas had absolutely nothing to do with border security. So here's a list of all 4 Republicans who joined the Democratic colleagues, which, like I said, one of them changed their vote. But we got Kim Buck, Mike Gallagher, and Tom McClintock, right? If one of these people is your congressman, do not allow these people to be voted back into office again. These people betrayed the Republican Party on this. We all know, right? We all know that there is an invasion going on our southern border. It's being facilitated by Joe Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas, right? They are aiding and abetting human smuggling, right? Everybody that comes across that southern border, I've said this 1,000 times, but everybody that comes across that southern border illegally must go through the cartels. Given that knowledge, if you allow these people to come through, then you are aiding and abetting cartel operations. They are working hand in hand, essentially, with the cartels to allow these people to come in. Because all those people that come over here illegally have to pay the cartel money to go across cartel territory. Right? You can't just walk across cartel territory. You'll get killed. Yeah, you have to pay thousands of dollars to get into the United States. These people are willing to go through that very dangerous process, by the way. These people go to the length, they even put armbands on people to signify either how much they paid, if they paid the money, if they owe the cartel, if they're going to help the cartel, all this. We've found evidence, so much evidence to impeach Mayorkas. It's ridiculous. And the Democrats and these 3 Republicans are lying when they say there's not enough evidence or these aren't impeachable offenses. They are most certainly impeachable offenses, because when you violate federal U.S. law, that is a felony, right? And what is it? High crimes and misdemeanors. So don't give me that BS that, these aren't impeachable charges. Kiss my grits. Department of Homeland Security spokeswoman Mia Ehrenberg said in a statement shared with the New York Times following Tuesday's vote, House Republicans will be remembered by history for trampling on the Constitution for political gain rather than working to solve the serious challenges of our border. Buck warned in the days leading up to the vote on Mayorkas that impeaching the current Homeland Security Secretary could open a door as Republicans that we don't want to open, warning that future presidents and their administrations would be subjected to the same scrutiny. Yes, the next president who is a Republican will face the same scrutiny from Democrats, Buck said while speaking with MSNBC last Thursday. It's wrong, and we should not set this precedent. This is not a high crime or misdemeanor. It's not an impeachable offense. This is a policy difference. No, this is not a policy difference. Jesus Christ. What is wrong with these people? You cannot violate federal law, allow hundreds of thousands of migrants to flow illegally across our southern border. That is against the law. And when you facilitate human smuggling, you need to be held to account. And that's what the Republicans are trying to do. These people are trying to play politics with this, saying, oh, no, we're worried about the next president. Well, you know what? If that Homeland Security Secretary doesn't violate federal law, he can't be impeached, folks. You can't impeach somebody over policy differences. If it was just policy differences, we would just be yelling and wailing and gnashing of teeth about it, right? We wouldn't be trying to impeach this guy. We need to write our congressmen and tell them to impeach this dude, man. What is wrong with these people? They are the ones trying to play politics. They're trying to set the narrative to make the American people think there's not an issue. However, the American people are not totally ignorant of this issue. We see all the illegal migrants, right? We see the stories of all these people. You might not see that story of CBP agents getting a forklift and lifting up the razor wire and allowing migrants to come through. That's what I'm here for. I caught that video and I've played it ad nauseum. I've played it so much I don't want to play it no more. Right? It's getting aggravating. But this is most definitely an impeachable offense. He's violating federal law by doing what he's doing. They are facilitating human smuggling. They are facilitating drug trafficking across our southern border with allowing all these illegal migrants to come into the country. They are continuing the cartel's job by sending these people to places like New York, Chicago, Kansas, for God's sakes. They're going all over the place. They're busing them here, giving them flights, but don't let these people lie to you, folks. This is most definitely an impeachable offense. This is not my opinion, right? This is fact. You cannot get around the fact that Mayorkas, by ordering CBP agents to allow all these migrants to come in, that violates federal law. You cannot get around the fact that Mayorkas, in every single Judiciary Committee hearing, Homeland Security Committee hearing that they've had, every single Oversight Committee hearing that we've had Mayorkas testifying, he has lied to Congress. He lied about having operational control over the southern border. He lied about implementing drones that Congress approved for the Homeland Security to use to spy on people coming across that southern border. He said, yes, we're using them. They weren't using them. He has lied every single time he's been up in front of Congress. So, you cannot tell me that he hasn't committed an impeachable offense. You can try to tell me in the comment section if you want to, but it's not going to work, folks. I've got an argument for all of it. But that's all I got for this one, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comment section. Should we kick these three congressmen out there? Ken Buck, Mike Gallagher, and Tom McClintock. There should be a referendum on these guys, right? They should feel the pressure and resign from Congress immediately. We should not allow these people to be voted back in. Primary these folks. Primary these guys. Or do you think that this is all just political showmanship? Let me know what you think down in the comment section. And that's all I got, y'all. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day and be positive. Peace.